Well, good evening and welcome to a special edition of Tucker Carlson Tonight. I'm Will Cain, in for Tucker. Now, here's a stat that puts the country's collapse into perspective, maybe more than any other. The Dow Jones just recorded its 8th straight weekly loss. The last time that happened was all the way back in 1932, around the height of the Great Depression. Now, right now, a lot of Americans are wondering, how did we get here so quickly, just a year and a half into Joe Biden? It's been a rapid decline. If you get a moment this weekend, go on the internet and pull up Joe Biden's inaugural address. Looking back, it's remarkable. Not because of what's in the speech, but because of what's missing from the speech. You won't hear a single mention of the issues Americans are most concerned about. Nothing on inflation, poverty, gas prices, the stock market. Nothing on government spending, energy independence, fentanyl overdoses, and absolutely nothing on border security. In fact, there isn't a single mention of policy in the entire address. Instead, Joe Biden talked about himself. He compared himself to Abraham Lincoln issuing the Emancipation Proclamation. He told us that only Joe Biden could unite Americans and save us from, quote, bitterness and fury.
Today, on this January day, my whole soul is in this, bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation. And I ask every American to join me in this cause. We can join forces, stop the shouting, and lower the temperature. For without unity, there is no peace, only bitterness and fury. And so today, at this time, in this place, let's start afresh.
So a year and a half later, I think right here on Tucker Carlson Tonight, we can announce that Joe Biden has finally succeeded in unifying the country against Joe Biden. And the polling makes that very clear. Listen to this. According to a CNN survey from this week, only 40% of Americans approve of Joe Biden's job performance. That's worse than Jimmy Carter at the same point in his presidency. 65% of Americans are concerned about the future of the country, and 21% are just flat out scared. Just 14% are excited or optimistic, and I would love to meet that 14%. An NBC News poll came up with similar numbers. Just 39% of Americans, according to NBC, approve of Joe Biden's performance. 62% disapprove of Biden's handling of the economy. Those numbers are also worse than Jimmy Carter's. 71% of Americans, 71, disapprove of Joe Biden's handling of the cost of living. 58 upset with his border policies. And listen to this. Another new poll from Quinnipiac found that Joe Biden has just a 26% approval rating among Hispanics. It's his lowest among any demographic group. That's a flood of numbers coming at you. But as bad as those numbers are, there's evidence that they could be overestimating Joe Biden's popularity. A political science professor named Eddie Zipperer looked at a recent poll by Marist, and the poll found that Joe Biden's approval rating is 39%. That's in line with what we saw from the other polls. But the Marist Institute poll reported that Joe Biden's popularity was much higher, in fact, almost 50% among baby boomers and the silent generation. Can that be right? Zipperer did some number crunching, and he found that 52% of people who are over 65, well, they voted for Donald Trump in 2020. And the Marist Institute poll found that 2%, just 2% of people that supported Donald Trump in 2020 now have shifted to having a favorable view of Joe Biden. So where is this new support for Joe Biden among baby boomers and the silent generation? It doesn't add up. And here's the point at the end of all of this arithmetic. The polls could be overstating Joe Biden's popularity among older Americans, and that may be due to a sampling error. If that's the case, Joe Biden's lower than 39%. Now, that would explain why no one in the media, not even CNN, is bothering to defend Joe Biden anymore.
Just 16% say the country's headed in the right direction, while a whopping 75% say we're on the wrong track. In fact, that wrong track number has been 70+ for 7 months.
There are a lot of push-button issues that do have people infuriated. Inflation at a 40-year high, I think, is one of them.
The anxieties that Americans are feeling over inflation, high gas prices, and it's really bubbling up.
You see that President Biden has a 40% approval rating in the CNN poll of polls, 55% disapprove. This is a huge warning sign for Democrats.
If you were a doctor and you were looking at this chart, you would say these vital signs are very, very bad.
The people are just really pissed off. They're really angry about what's going on, and they don't feel like anyone can help them. I mean, they tried it with the Trump administration, then they switched. They handed power in Washington to Democrats, and now inflation has gone rampant. People are really unhappy with their lives.
I'd say that's a fair summation. 40%, 39%. It's very, very bad, and people are pissed off. Now, from his inauguration speech, though, we know Joe Biden didn't see any of this coming. He didn't think it was possible to wreck a functioning economy in just a year and a half. But the signs were there. The nation's monetary supply had grown dramatically in 2020 due to pandemic spending, but Joe Biden ignored those warning signs. He was laser focused on demonizing his political opponents instead of managing the economy. In a single bill, the American Rescue Act, Biden spent $19 trillion. And according to an article by the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, that action led directly to inflation. Quote, estimates suggest that the fiscal support measures designed to counteract the severity of the pandemic's economic effect may have contributed to this divergence by raising inflation 3 percentage points by the end of 2021. But Joe Biden kept going. He spent another $1 trillion on infrastructure. The result? The highest inflation rate we have seen in decades.
This morning, America seems trapped in a vortex of bad economic news. Sky-high food prices, pump prices at record levels, soaring rents up 16% in 1 year, COVID lockdowns in China, the world's manufacturing center, choking the global supply chain, U.S. corporate profits sinking, Russian oil under partial embargo, Ukrainian wheat exports at a standstill, and all of it feeding 40-year high inflation that Americans are paying for every day.
So if you're wondering how all of this caught Joe Biden by surprise, consider who's suffering the most here. The people hit hardest by Joe Biden's economic policies aren't in urban areas like San Francisco or New York, which are solidly blue. Joe Biden's base isn't bearing the brunt of this. His bubble is sufficiently insulated. No, the people suffering the most are in remote rural areas and small towns, towns like Midland, Texas, places that are overwhelmingly conservative. It's a lot harder to ferry food and supplies into a place like Midland because it's so far from urban centers. And a Fox multimedia reporter just went to Midland, which has recorded the highest inflation rate in the country at roughly 10%.
People in this West Texas town of Midland say it's hitting them hardest.
We're somewhat isolated between El Paso and Dallas, Fort Worth. And so there's a lot of distance, and it takes you 4 or 5 hours to go to either one. So travel costs, transportation costs, that raises prices.
Midland has a population of just over 140,000, but it's giving big cities like New York, Phoenix, and Dallas a run for their money when it comes to inflation. It's had the highest rate in the country for the last 6 months. The West Texas Food Bank says over the last few weeks, the number of families it serves has tripled.
Most of the clients we serve, 27 to 30% of them have never needed any form of public assistance before. Their rent has gone up. They cannot keep up with the price of groceries that they're seeing right now in the grocery stores, and they can't keep up with the cost of fuel.
Those are my people, West Texas. Those are our people, Americans. And this is Joe Biden's unity strategy. Americans united in being poorer, more divided, and more scared than they were when he took office. It just so happens that once again, people who didn't vote for Joe are suffering the most.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson Tonight.